Jumbo, fellow adventurers, it's Mike Dooley. Time for a spiritual tune-up. I missed you. Friday I was at Disney World. Thanks for the great comments. I had a super time, a super weekend. I hope you did too. These spiritual tune-ups are done Monday through Friday most of the time, and they are where I answer your questions that you post below on the day of a broadcast. Questions you post today could be my talking points tomorrow, literally. Do not post a question on something that's 2 days old because I don't go back there. Today's question: how to control anger. How do I control my anger? Is anger something we manifest even when something happens to you, to us? I don't have a specific anger problem, but I find that I sometimes get really angry inside. How do you get rid of that? And have you manifested this in your life? Oh, I think none of us are exempt, no matter where we are on the scale of conscious enlightenment, to feel anger, or at least to remember really well what it's like. To this day, I feel anger. So you're not alone. It's not a terrible thing. It's okay, but it's a great and really important question because anger is never ideal. I'm really strong on that. I said that recently, but I'm glad I have the opportunity to clarify here. It's okay. It's totally understandable. We're on this crazy adventure where we forget how powerful we are, and it seems like life is happening to us, and oftentimes there are unintended manifestations that really seem to suck. Okay, be angry. It's totally okay. But we want to manage that anger. We want to recognize that it is not ideal. Yes, you can harness your anger. And yes, you ought to always use your anger. But don't let this be an invitation to be angry. Don't be, totally okay that you're angry. Anger is something you want to mitigate and erode away through conscious awareness. Okay, so the most important thing here is to get, and this is, I think psychology 101. Anger is the byproduct of earlier suppressed feelings. Suppressed feelings. Now, is it possible to manifest anger like we manifest money? Yeah, you can think about money, you can move towards money, you manifest money. You can do the same thing with anger, like, nobody does. But to answer your question, literally, you could be thinking about, the power of my anger, and inadvertently be looking for somebody to let it out on, and you will have manifested anger in a very deliberate, straightforward way. That's almost never how anger arises, though, to get to the point of your question. It is the byproduct, as I just said, of earlier suppressed emotions. Okay? And very simply, just be aware. From now on, for all of us, when you have something you want to say, consider saying it. This doesn't mean just let everything just blurt out of your mouth, almost irrationally without some kind of filter. This is an art. Life is an art. It's not all yes or no or totally objective. But when there's something going on at home or in your circle of friends or with complete strangers, and that really bugs you when people drive that way, start giving yourself permission to more readily and more quickly to reveal your displeasure at what happened. And that is not anger. That is aggression. Aggression is a totally different thing. Aggression doesn't have to be my way or the highway. Aggression is an expression of, hey, I'm putting my foot down. Hey, I want you to know. Hey, let's talk about this. That's not anger. That's a natural reaction to circumstances that are displeasing. And we may have a lot to learn by bringing it up. We might find that there was a really important reason that that person was driving crazy. Maybe they had somebody in their family is hurt and they're laying down in the back seat and they're rushing to the hospital. And you're like, well, I'm glad I brought it up. Otherwise, it would have built up. And 10 more drivers later, I would have really gone into highway rage. Now, I know we can't always talk to the people who tick us off in our cars, but 9 times out of 10, we can talk to the people who annoy us in our life. And by talking about it, we can let off that steam. we can put things in, see things in their proper perspective instead of bottling it up to the day when it blows up, when you blow up and you are out of perspective. So the most psychology 101 is be expressive. And I know that this is easier for some than others. And I know it's easier for men than women. And I don't mean for that to sound wrong, but women too often bear the brunt of wanting to make peace with partners that are not female, in some cases, who really don't care or are not thinking about that. And too often it's bottled up and bottled up. So just gently be aware that there is a need and a place for your expression. You are important. We need to hear. We want to hear. And in the right way, at the right time, if you can measure it and filter it just a tad, your expression will bring about immediate remedies for both parties. And sometimes that remedy will be a realization that you misunderstood something, that you would not have understood, that you misunderstood unless you expressed to begin with, which is the second part of this lesson. When you're feeling anger, you might not have the opportunity to express. Maybe the person you're angry with is not right there in front of you. You don't have to send them a text message or a flaming email. You might, if the opportunity presents itself, do some reflection. Ask some basic questions. How else could I see this? What else might be going on in their life? What am I missing? And it might be a total misunderstanding on your part, or you might be led to realizing that they have a misunderstanding because of some other pressing issues that you were oblivious to or not giving proper weight to, and you'll find that it was understandable, their behavior, and not a personal insult to you, and you can see the whole thing a different way. So number one, be expressive more often in a measured way. Find that balance. It's an art. And number two, and this goes for anything that rattles your cage, for all of us. If there is anger or an accident or a pain or an ailment, as I say, it seems like it comes up in almost every tune-up, you are misunderstanding something. And that doesn't mean that the other person wasn't a jerk. Okay? But always when an issue shows up in our life, including anger, there's something we are misunderstanding about ourselves or about them, which does not justify their behavior, and that does not mean don't express. Do express, and that'll bring more clarity to your perhaps lack of clarity and or clarity on their situation. I know it seems like I'm playing both ends here and maybe not speaking straight, but whenever there's an issue in your life, it's a red flag that you could see things differently. Again, that doesn't mean you were wrong. It doesn't mean that they were right. But it means, hey, it's an adventure. Hey, it's okay. And that definitely does not mean don't express. There's room for both, okay? Your expression might change based on some self-reflection in the beginning, but don't deny yourself. That's so key here. That's the underlying message. Don't deny yourself. Speak up. All right, thanks for these amazing questions. I can't wait till tomorrow. We've got a couple of good ones lined up already. And happy Monday. May it be the best of your life so far. And I think many of you, oh my gosh, I think we're probably at 10 or 15 or 20,000 people have signed up already for the workshop I'm doing with Sarah Landon, The Dream, the Journey, Eternity, and God. August 5th, completely free, 90 minutes. I'm asking the council questions. The council is channeled by Sarah Landon. If you miss it, it's recorded, but you got to sign up in advance. So go click the link under this video right now on Facebook or swipe up to the links on Instagram, and I'll see you with Sarah Landon on August 5th for 90 minutes of wow. Ok, hasta pronto, hasta mañana, te amo, ciao bella.